I saw in the dim light that they hadn't all been mutilated in the same manner, but they were covered in the same kind of filth. Their skin and clothes had been layered with dirt, crusted blood, and offal. They also had brittle, unkempt hair in a similar state. One had fresh scars and open cuts slashed randomly across his face, while another was missing his entire nose. Where his nose should have been were two gaping holes surrounded by ragged chunks of loose flesh. The third was large and muscular, towering above the others. His hair had been burned off in several places, which matched the burn marks across the rest of his body. He was bare from the waist up and had long cuts running up and down his skin. The largest one saw me, turned his face skyward, and roared what sounded like a challenge. At his yell, the other three scrambled towards me faster than I expected. I leapt off the table and ran for the street as fast as I could. I might be able to lose them on the street. Spurred on by my flight, they screamed even louder and ran faster. I could hear their steps getting closer, until I knew one was right behind me as I hit the door. A hand grabbed at my leather jacket and found purchase. I strained against the insistent tugging and turned enough to swing the sword against the face of my would-be ensnarer. My blade raked across his neck, and blood streamed out in quick spurts before I was able to pull free. Time seemed to momentarily freeze. Black eyes bored into mine. I could smell his hot, fetid breath on my face. It stank of rot and carrion. The impact of the sword jarred his hand enough for me to pull free. I could only imagine the horror that he had planned if he had caught me. There was no humanity left in those eyes. All I could see was a vicious animal that should be put down. A malevolent look of hate filled his face. It didn't look like the injury had caused him any pain, just anger. With the amount of blood running down his neck, I wondered if he had much time left. He held one hand over his neck to staunch the flow of blood, while the other tried to claw at me again. His fingers were a few scant inches away. I was just out of his reach. Thank God.